All right, hello, North Augusta Elementary first graders. I'm going to read to you a book called Pickles to Pittsburgh. And this is the second book to Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. All right, it's written by the same author. Her name is Judy Barrett, and her husband Ron Barrett does the illustrations. All right, are we ready to see what happens? And it's funny because I used to live in Pennsylvania, and that's where Pittsburgh is. So this is called Pickles to Pittsburgh. Okay, let's start right here. You ready? Let me just move this so you guys can see a little better, and I can read it to you. Are you ready? All right. Dear Henry and Kate, I'm having the best vacation ever, but I don't get much rest. I really wish that you were here. Our group travels around in a big blue bus, and somehow it manages to climb up and down the tallest and bumpiest mountains and around some of the biggest plants I have ever seen. We visited many unusual places, met the local people, and I've even helped them out with some of their chores. I'm taking a lot of pictures because this place is hard to believe. Can't wait till I see you next Thursday. Love and hugs, Grandpa. Okay. We all miss Grandpa an awful lot. His Saturday morning pancakes, his mostly funny jokes, and especially his wonderful bedtime stories. Tomorrow would be Thursday and he'd be home. We could hardly wait to hear where he had been and what he had done. To pass the time, we helped Mom make spaghetti and meatballs for dinner. Harry made the largest meatball we've ever seen. They barely fit into the pot. Mom thanked us for helping, but asked that the meatballs be much smaller next time. Look, do you see how big he made it? It looks like the size of a softball. After we finished eating, Henry and I cleared the table so that we could help bake a special welcome home cake for Grandpa. It was chocolate with strawberry icing and made it in the shape of Grandpa's face. We licked as much of the batter off the spoon as we possibly could. Excuse me. Oh, let me show you. It's one big picture. There we go. Okay. I took Grandpa's postcard up to my room and put it on the little table beside my bed. I kept staring at it and wondering. The lamplight made bright a photograph of a wonderful place that seemed somehow familiar. I said goodnight to it and drifted off into my dreams. Surrounded by milky blue skies and with Henry as my co-pilot, we carefully steered our plane through large puffs of mist. Soon, we find ourselves soaring over an island, a very lumpy island. From the air, it looks like a gigantic feast. Immense vegetables, salad, and desserts lie beneath us. The mountains look like huge loaves of bread. So we know she fell asleep and now she's dreaming, right? We decide to take a closer look and prepare ourselves for a bumpy landing, avoiding some broccoli and narrowly missing a tremendous hamburger on an oversized bun. We come down and taxi on what appears to be a giant strip of crispy bacon. Henry and I step down from the plane and look around in awe. Before us lies a strange but wondrous landscape. We are surrounded by larger-than-life vegetables. Nearby is a lake that smells like breakfast, bordered by a leafy jungle of lettuce that resembles a tossed salad. Oh my goodness, look at this. We try to keep our balance as we walk around on the top of a gigantic bagel and past a forest of towering carrots. One is pierced by a tunnel large enough for a car to drive through. Off in the distance, We see popcorn snowing down onto the peaks of enormous rolls. Way above our heads, high up in the trees that look like broccoli, chubby birds are nesting in huge shredded wheat biscuits. You hear my dogs, they're running around everywhere. Ahead of us, at the end of a long road, lies what looks like an abandoned town. Eager to know where we are, we start walking towards it. Sweet-smelling rain begins to fall. It collects in hundreds of open containers that are lined up in the fields beside the road. Lots of orange puddles are everywhere. It's orange juice. All of a sudden, we find ourselves standing in the shadows of a giant tuna fish sandwich being delicately airlifted by a helicopter. In the distance, another helicopter races off with a jumbo pickle in tow. See the pickle? Look at this. When we reach what is left of the town, we see the remnants of a sign welcoming us to a place called Chew and Swallow. Somehow, I know I've heard that name somewhere before. We walk through the entire town in amazement. Now look, I'll let you get a real close look at that picture. Look, there's a chicken, some waffles. I think that down there's a piece of sushi. No, yeah, that's a donut. There's some cucumbers, some meatballs. Up ahead, lots of workers wearing helmets and dressed in matching uniforms are loading huge potatoes onto trucks. Other trucks sag under the weight of immense artichokes, enormous eggplants, and massive peas and carrots. Foot-long veal cutlets are stacked up to be packed for shipping. To the east, the weather is changing, and we can see sandwiches raining down. As soon as they land, they are piled up neatly, ready for shipment on a freighter anchored down by the shore. And it says right here on its clipboard, it's hard to see with the picture, but it says shipping schedule: Monday, eggplants to Ecuador, chili to Chile, milk to Milwaukee, hamburgers to Hamburg, Hamburg's in Germany, pickles to Pittsburgh, pears to Paris, artichokes to Argentina, and rutabaga to Rwanda, and sandwiches to Sandusky. So there's the list of where they're sending things. Okay? And remember, that's author's craft. Okay. Large reservoirs of milk and cream flow into extra large containers, which are lined up ready to be loaded onto a ship. Printed on the sides of the trucks are the words Falling Food Company, large food for large and small, countries free. One of the workers tell us that Chew and Swallow used to be a very ordinary little town, except that instead of weather, food rained down from the sky for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Back then, he says, by some quirk of nature, the falling food grew larger and larger. Storms of gigantic food threatened normal life, so the people took their belongings and sailed away to a new land on rafts made of huge slices of stale bread. They returned years later to see what happened to Chew and Swallow, and they discovered an endless food supply and decided to create the Falling Food Company. Now, daily shipments are made to all parts of the world, from the smallest towns to the largest cities. As soon as the food lands, it is wrapped, boxed, bottled, or packaged, and sent out to people who need it. Wouldn't that be awesome? There is always enough food for everyone. Henry and I think this is a great idea, and we wish that we could stay and work here, but I don't think that they hire kids. It's getting late and we have to leave, but we were ready to be headed home. Mom's expecting us for dinner. The workers give us a 2-foot wide chocolate chip cookie, which we carry back to the plane. It just barely fits through the door. That's the chocolate chip cookie we need for our classroom, right? We buckle up, I rev the engine, and we start rolling down the bacon runway. As everyone waves goodbye, we can see the dinner approaching from the west. Spaghetti and meatballs, I think. As we gain altitude, Chew and Swallow slowly vanishes into the distance. My alarm clock woke me with a jolt. It was finally Thursday, and I wanted to get to school fast. The sooner I got there, the sooner I'd get home, and the sooner I'd see Grandpa. When we got home, we ran as fast as we could into Grandpa's waiting arms. "I brought back something for you," said Grandpa, and he gave us each a very large box containing a chocolate chip cookie that he had gotten on his trip. They were the biggest we had ever seen, almost 2 feet wide. Mom made Grandpa his favorite dinner, chicken and dumplings, and we surprised him with our special welcome home cake. He chose the slice with his mustache. By the time dinner was done, it was late and Grandpa was tired. When he was all tucked in bed, we knocked on his door and we gave him an extra goodnight kiss. Then I told Grandpa the most wonderful tall-tale bedtime story I had ever heard. It began, surrounded by milky blue skies and with Henry as my co-pilot. Sorry, guys, got a tickle. Grandpa stayed awake until the very end. Then he looked at us with a very funny glint in his eye and said, "Wait till I show you the pictures I took on my trip." And then he drifted off into his own wonderful dreams. That's the end. Now, if we can get a really close look, let's see. See his pictures in his dresser drawer? I'm thinking Grandpa went to Chew and Swallow. I think Grandpa was one of those people that came from Chew and Swallow. All right, I hope you enjoyed Pickles to Pittsburgh, and I'll see you next time I read to you. Bye, guys. Miss you.